What's going on? I'll be Fitness Gaming, and you've seen the title of the video, you know why. Domain Knightfall. So let's go over the deck here. So the mana base is still the same. We have the consistency of the Domain Zoo deck, and all we're adding is the Cradle of Growth. For the creatures, we have added 4 Noble Hierarchs. This is going to help us power out a lot of our cards. Going to power out the Retreat to Coralhelm with a Reliquary combo if we happen to draw into it. We have, of course, the Wild Nacatl, get that early pressure. Kavu, Scion of Draco. Scion of Draco gives your Knight Vigilance and Trample, which is relevant, especially when you have a Retreat to Coralhelm. Also, without the Retreat, the Knight can always just be a huge creature. We are also adding Siege Rhino. Siege Rhino, if you guys have been watching my other videos with Domain Zoo, is a card that I started playing in Domain Zoo. It has just been a total powerhouse. So we're going to go ahead and add it into this deck here and see how it performs. We have the Singleton Dromoka's Command. This card is really good. I don't think you need more than one. For some reason, whenever I play more than one, it doesn't perform as well. But when I'm playing one, and I'm always happy to draw it. Tribal Flames, Lightning Bolt to either end the game or to pick off creatures. Then we have Leyline Binding, of course, for the sideboard. Jegantha, 2 Teferis. The 4 Stubborn Denials are in the sideboard. We got 2 Wear and Tears, 2 Veil of Summer, 2 Rest in Peace, and 2 Consume All. The games where we're putting in Rest in Peace, we're definitely most likely taking out the Retreat to Coralhelm and a Knight of the Reliquary more often than not. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into a game here. Played a few games already with the deck. Like always, let's see, hold on, give me a second. We can grab, yeah, we got Domain here. The Exalted on the Noble Hierarchs is really relevant when you're playing a Domain Zoo deck, especially when you're attacking with only 1 or 2 creatures a turn, which is usually the case for this deck. So depending what they're playing here, okay, Plains, not really sure what they're playing. We're going to lead with the Kavu. If they're playing a deck that plays Fatal Push, or potentially plays Fatal Push, we would lead with the Scion of Draco. If you don't know what you're playing against, Kavu is really good because it can attack the graveyard if it is a graveyard strategy. It can also help you start filtering and building your hand. It also deals 5 versus 4, which is a 4-turn clock. Okay, Path to Exile. People still play that apparently. Let's go with a Plains. Which is not bad. So in our version of the deck, it's not bad to get Path because, you know, we need our mana. We use it. Thalia is fine. So this seems like some type of green-white Hatebears style deck. So we're going to go ahead and just, doesn't matter here, they have a Thalia, but I'm going to play this. Scion of Draco. Thalia doesn't represent too much of a problem here. So we're just going to let her live. Usually Hatebears, they could play like Leon Arbiter, Stoneforge Mystic. Things like that are what we want to pick off. They could have a Pride Mage here if they play that. Okay, there's the Leon Arbiter that we spoke about. So we might want to get rid of that. Our deck really needs its mana, so what we're going to do is we're just going to get in for 4. If they play a Ghost Quarter, we'll bolt the Leon Arbiter in response. We can also bolt the Thalia and Leyline Binding then the Leon Arbiter. That's also a play. I think we're gonna do that. Actually, let's play correctly. We'll bolt here. The reason I want to do this now is because we have a lot of removal in our hand, and I also have some threats that I want to play. What does this do? Whenever a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability, counter to that ability in this place too. Okay. Alright, so that's going to shut off our Siege Rhino for right now, but that's okay. Is it all abilities? Yeah, so that also applies to them as well. Interesting. We'll do this. Play another Draco. And then, depending on what they do here, end of turn, let me see, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then next turn we don't even have to play the Rhino. So we'll just bolt them at end of turn. They could have some type of removal here. So I'm going to Leyline Binding this. If they could have double path or path, and if they have one path, they're going to have to... Oh, snap, I read the card wrong. That's right, it's any permanent. Okay, that was a huge misplay. Sometimes you forget that the Leyline Binding is a permanent. We're so used to playing this card at instant speed that I forget that it's a permanent. Alright, so that ended the game anyways. Alright, I think our main deck seems pretty good to set up to beat this deck. Green-white Hatebears. I'm assuming they play Aether Vial, but we have Leyline Binding for that. As we think about Modern, there's so many new cards, different decks, patterns of plays, that a lot of these cards, they'll keep you humble because like I mentioned, right? Like, I got so used to playing this as an instant, you totally forget that it's an enchantment, that it's a permanent. Mulligan. We'll keep this. I think we want to put away a land. We can go Breeding Pool, Triome. That puts us with 2 Wild Nacatls and Domain. And then, you know, we got some action from there. Then playing a Thalia here would be good for us. We could run into a problem if they play like Thalia, Leon Arbiter, Ghost Quarter. Interesting that they have like fetch lands and... Okay, active. Gotta reread these cards to make sure. So next turn, I think we play the Scion. This makes our Leyline Bindings really bad. Kataki. Okay, so we're not going to play Scion. What is going on here? Oh, it's flying. I'm like, wait a minute, why are you attacking me? I have a Nacatl. Okay. Tribal Flames is not bad. We're gonna... just gonna keep smashing face. Smush. They could have Path here, which is not the worst for us. Alright, so we have a pretty fast clock here. Interesting to see Kataki, right? Like, do you bring in Kataki because of Draco? They did see 2 game 1, and maybe that prompted them for that, but I don't know. I don't think this is the card you bring in for Draco. I think you bring in like Quasali Pride Mages, Knight of Autumn, things like that. Creatures, you know, that can get rid of artifacts. Because at the end of the day, they're still threats. And wow, Leon Arbiter with fetch lands and call. That's impressive, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, we're going to go ahead and discard. I think we're going to discard the Draco here. We have a lot of threats. The Plains, it's not bad. That makes our Leyline Binding live, which, let's see. So they could, we don't need to play more threats, you know, because we can just do this, but I was trying to think. Yeah, I think we just, if we didn't have Tribal Flames, we just, pass turn. I mean, what are they going to do? Yeah, we just pass turn. They play Leon Arbor, they Ghost Quarter us. In response, we can Leyline Binding. Alright, so there we saw the deck. We were able to see the power of Siege Rhino, just another massive threat that comes down. Because they pathed us, they really, you know, expedited the process here. Knight of the Reliquary is a creature that you normally don't play until later in the game anyways, unless you have a retreat to Coralhelm and you want to combo off. And the reason is because you have so many early threats that you can usually just ambush the opponent here, just rush them, and then control the board with Lightning Bolts, Trial Flames, and Dromoka's Command Leyline Bindings. So your Knight of the Reliquaries are the creatures that you want to deploy last. It also gives them time to get bigger, so that's when you want to play those. Unless you have a retreat to Coralhelm and a Noble Hierarch, a couple of Noble Hierarchs where you can like power, turbo it out, and then like go for the win against non-interactive decks. But yeah, as far for that game, sideboarding, not really much that we need to bring in. We're pretty good set up to play that matchup. We have a lot of removal, and I didn't see any Aether Vials from them. They could have been playing Collected Company, but if they were playing Collected Company, I can see bringing in Stubborn Denials for that. If they're playing Vials, I don't believe we bring anything else. Leyline Binding handles that. Those type of decks, they can be, I would say they're easy matchups, because without the Vial, if they're playing Aether Vial, they're usually playing one threat a turn, and their threats don't match up very well with our threats. If they're playing Collected Company, their threats are also mainly 2 manas, as we saw there, so even them landing a Collected Company, I mean, they can get like a Thalia and a Leon Arbiter. I think probably best thing, if they're playing a Stoneforge, they can hit like a Stoneforge Mystic, get a complete, and then hit us with that the next following turn without us knowing. Or they can equip the sword. That could be problematic, like a Feast of, Feast and Famine, or a Fire and Ice. But yeah, I mean, I think that matchup for us is fairly easy. We have all the tools to really beat them easily. Unfortunately, I don't think those decks are that good in Modern anymore. And if they are, I don't know if I would be playing Leon Arbiters with fetch lands and Dominus Call unless you had some type of combo. Anyways, my friends, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about Domain Knightfall. Comment at the bottom. Any misplays or any plays I could have done better, comment at the bottom. Let me know. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, share, hit that notification button. I post daily. And again, my friends, thank you so much and peace out.